Hi, Karen. How are you today?
Hi, Mary. Welcome to my stained glass studio. Mary Neff is our videographer, and she and I are going to be talking about the process and construction of a custom stained glass window. I'm one of the many artists in the art shop located at Huron Valley Council for the Arts in Highland. We're at 205 West Livingston Road, inside the old church and across from the Highland Fire Station. We're a co-op of local artists working together to sell our work, and we offer a wide variety of one-of-a-kind items. And as a matter of fact, right now, the art shop is interviewing new artists. So if you are at all curious or you know someone who would be a good fit for us, check the website, huronvalleyarts.org, for more information. I've been a member for over a year now, and I've really enjoyed working with this group of artists, and it's a great opportunity for artists who have quality work to offer.
All right. Well, Karen, why don't you tell us a little bit about your art journey in stained glass?
So I was working in commercial photography. I have a diploma in commercial photography. I have a Bachelor of Arts from Michigan State. And photography went from film to digital. And at that point, it was so much computer work, I didn't enjoy it anymore. I like getting my hands in something. And so I was working in another arena, and I took an introductory class. And within that 90 minutes, I just fell in love. And that was over 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. And I've had my hands in glass ever since.
Wonderful. All right. Well, what are you going to tell us about today in this interview?
So I thought we'd go through just some of the basics, and then I'll tell you about my process for doing a custom piece. I have a custom piece that I'm working on right now, so it's very convenient that we're doing this. So I pulled glass that is in the same color family, but you can see there's clear textured, there's a translucent, there is even opaque, and then there is what I would call a streaky. And it's the sky is the limit. I get my glass from Delphi, which is a local wholesaler, and I'm very fortunate because they're in Lansing, and so I can drive there to get the glass. So stained glass, traditional stained glass construction is either copper foil, and here are different sizes of copper foil, and some is black backed, some is silver, and then there's some that's copper backed. And you match the backing to what you're doing with the piece. And the piece I'm going to show you has these three sizes of copper foil in it. It's a way to finesse the look. If it's got a lot of curves, like this piece right here has a lot of curves, this is a copper foil piece because you need to be able to wrap the foil around the piece, and then it's soldered together. This piece here is of lead construction because the lines are not so intricate. And this has a blown glass, to me it's a flower. I thought a multicolored flower. So lead comes in, and I don't know if you can see this, I'll put it out here, but it comes in different thicknesses, different heights. This can be rounded or flat. This one's rounded, this one's flat, all different sizes. So that's the internal structure, copper foil or leaded. Then how are you going to frame it? Well, some of that depends on the size of the piece, the customer's preference. This is a custom stained glass wood frame that I've painted black, and the piece fits right inside so that it looks good on the front and the back.
I guess you have to think about how you're going to hang this.
Absolutely. Where is it going to go? Right. You've got to think all the way through before you even go to Delphi and buy glass. This piece is framed in zinc. And here's a picture of some zinc channel, and that's what the piece that I'm doing right now is going to be framed in zinc, and then it will be patinaed to be black so that it's not distracting. And then this is just a freeform piece.
Oh, and I think that is so interesting. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
It's a hand. I think that's apparent. So, you know, sometimes you have a plan and sometimes you don't.
Well, that's the fun part, isn't it?
It is. And stained glasses not always have to be flat. I also do votive candle holders. This particular one has some decorative soldering on it. This is a amber glass jewel that I like to think of as the flame for the candle. And there are lots of fun things you can do. So,
well, and I know you have these votives in the shop.
Yes, I do.
For sure.
Yes,
There's a variety of them, and you have a series that match up with birthday.
Yes. Birthstone colors.
Birthstone colors. Thank you. Yeah.
Which is a fun thing for somebody who has everything already. Give them something one of a kind.
Right.
So, and I do custom work. So, so now that we've talked about how does all this come together?
So let's say someone comes into the shop and has an idea for a window. What would you do next?
So I would do some concept drawings, and this is an example of one of the concept drawings for this piece that I'm going to show you. And I did 3 concept drawings for my customer, and they let me know, we like this, we don't like that, can you do whatever, and work through it a few times until they're satisfied with the design. Then we talk about glass. You want to settle on the design before you talk about glass. And with this particular customer, they wanted a lighthouse piece for their mom. So I did some drawings for them on the computer. It's a CAD program. It's proprietary to stained glass. So that's how I get actual stained glass in the concept. And I found this bevel cluster. So this is the actual size of the bevel cluster, 8.5 by 11.5, and I said, you know, this would be really sharp, and they thought so too.
So can I ask you, what is a bevel cluster?
A bevel cluster is, and let's just jump ahead over here, and it is pieces of beveled glass, and the bevels, well, I can pull this out. The bevels will throw rainbows, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see that or not. Can you see the texture on that? So
I think so. We can see that.
It's not flat like those pieces of glass I showed in the very beginning. This has angles to it. When those angles, like a prism, catch the light a certain way, it throws rainbows. And that's what this bevel cluster will do. And I like to work with bevels. Some of the pieces you'll see that are in the art shop, I think all the ones that are there now do have a bevel because, I don't know, it classes it up and it adds a special dimension. So, bevel cluster, concept drawing. So then I printed it out in full size. And I don't spend the money to go to a printer. I just print on regular size paper and tape it together. And then I take graph paper and I make another pattern. And that's how we get up to here. So I do this because I have to know what pieces are going where. I have to see the big picture. How am I going to start? Am I going to start at the bottom and work up? Am I going to start at the top and work down? Or from one side or the other? And the trick with this piece is that this background, so wherever you see the blue background, that had to be one piece of glass. And then I had to pull these other pieces out of it because this needed to flow.
So I'm gonna show people that right now, what you're talking about.
So this is one piece of glass. Now I had to have a line here because glass wants to run in a straight line. And if I just did that, eventually that would crack over time because it expands and contracts. And so I just did that for structural reasons. And when coming up with a custom design, that's the other thing. It's not just about the aesthetics. You have to know that it's going to hold together over time. I have this fantasy that my pieces are enjoyed, and then when the family is divvying up the things after mom and dad have moved on, that the stained glass window is the thing that everybody fights over.
I like that.
That's
Yes.
I go for longevity. Maybe that's a function of my age. I don't know. But
So what you were talking about, this is one piece of glass. This has to flow into that. They
Right.
can't be mismatched.
correct.
Okay.
And the same thing here. This
Right.
had to be, so then I had to pull these elements out of it. I had to pull these elements out of this background glass, and I only had one shot, or else I would have to have bought a whole other piece of glass.
Okay.
And this particular glass is, it's absolutely stunning. Let me hold it up.
Yeah, that'll be beautiful.
It's a it's handmade. There's somebody that actually does this. And so there's no two the same. If you said, well, I want that glass, the next sheet that shows up, as a matter of fact, when I went to Delphi, I looked at several pieces and selected the one that I thought would be best for my customer. So there's aesthetic, there's structural. If you have a really large piece, sometimes you have to run strong line through it to hold it up, because over time the glass would tend to bow out from the weight. So what I'm going to do here is this has been foiled up, and you remember we talked about the copper foil.
Exactly.
And I did copper foil because we have all these lines. I could have done lead here, but I thought it would detract from the lighthouse and in the pieces about the lighthouse. So you see the clear pieces, the bevel cluster. Yes, that's blue tape under there because I wanted to hold it together. I will solder this, flip it over very carefully, solder the other side. Then I will put the zinc frame on it, and I have a miter saw that I'll cut the zinc with and put hooks on it. Then I will patina. There's one patina for the soldering part. There's another patina for the zinc frame. And then I will deliver it to my customer.
Oh, well, that is wonderful.
That's the story.
Yeah, well, that really explains all that goes into making a stained glass window.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this interview today, and it was my pleasure to have you in my studio. You can see my work and a variety of other local artists in the art shop, located at Huron Valley Council for the Arts, 205 West Livingston Road in Highland. Our hours are Wednesday and Friday from 10 to 3 and Saturday from 10 to 2. We're open when the sign is out, so please don't hesitate to come in and just browse around. You can arrange private shopping or curbside pickup by calling the office, 248-889-8660. I hope you had fun. I sure had fun hosting you today. Watch for more artist studio interviews in the coming months, and thank you for supporting local artists.